I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars. It has been well publicised over the last few episodes that I am moving house.
It has. We've not hidden it from anyone.
We've not hidden it from anyone. It is no secret. It is actually happening now, this week. Oh God! So we may end up with a slightly shorter couple of episodes because we probably won't be able to record a new episode next week. So we're going to try and do a couple of shorties for you, if that's what they're called, as we have done before. But oftentimes when we say we're going to do a short one, it turns out the normal length anyway. So we'll see where we end up. But next week, the day we would normally record is the day we're actually completing on our house. And we'll receive the money. So the chances of being in any condition to record a podcast are probably quite slim.
No, if you've received a sum of money, I'd imagine you'll be inebriated.
Yes.
Good.
That's how it works. That's how it works. I've looked it up. I've checked the standard operating procedure, and that's what happens.
Yes, well, we've all done that. I've done the same myself.
There you
have many beers. I had a curry as well. Pushed the boat out.
Oh, why not? Why not? Yes. That sounds good.
Actually, on that point, the curry house that I really like has closed.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I was devastated.
Yeah. Does that mean you've not got one locally now?
Well, it was one in town, so it wasn't strictly local.
Not local, but
not local. But
yeah,
there are plenty of other ones in town, but it's just I liked that one.
Yeah, well, the one you like, I find, is hard to come by because there's a lot out there that are not actually very good. I'm quite picky about curry. It's got about, there's a lot of mediocre ones out there.
This feels like the right moment to bring up one that I don't know how have we got onto this already.
This is about to degenerate really quickly.
Yeah, this is about to get serious, but this is a public health warning. This
okay.
We went to visit Mr. Friend, and a curry was had because he lives in Birmingham.
Oh well, then you have to.
The home of the curry.
Yeah.
Well, certainly in this country, anyway.
In this country, yeah. I don't think globally that's recognised.
No, not globally,
but in this country, yes.
So off we trot, and Rob and I were the ones visiting Mr. Friend, and we'd been a bit beery and a bit takeaway on the run up to the visit. So we thought, when the curry happened, we thought, you know what? Rob and I both sort of went, I'm just going to go mild here, I think. The system the system is a bit loaded as we already.
The cauldron is churning. Yeah.
Yeah. So we thought, you know what? Let's just go mild.
Let's just ease it back just a little bit. Yeah. But see, that's wise. That's sensible. That's responsible.
That's responsible curry eating, right there.
It is.
Unfortunately, the morning that followed. Oh my good God. It was that unmistakable sort of stirring because Rob and I were staying in this house and we were just kipping on camp beds on the floor. And we stirred. And I honestly, the stench.
Oh no.
It was like, that was that sort of smell going, we had mild curries. What has happened? What has happened in here?
Oh no!
Awful. And then, I mean, the real issue of the morning was the fact that Rob and my stomachs were in a state of disrepair,
hanging in tatters,
and there was one bog.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, it's bad times all round, that, isn't it?
Bad times, and just to sort of hammer the point home, between Rob and myself, we reached double digits for bog visits.
Oh,
Wow.
On a mild
curry.
Truth.
Yeah.
Did Mr. Friend also join you in the mild curries, or was he going for a bit more?
I don't think he went for anything particularly incendiary, but this is a hardened visitor of this particular establishment, so his guts are in the sort of cast iron state. They're used to it.
Okay, he's got a constitution that can take it. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. But not so for yourself and Rob.
No. Awful.
Oh dear.
Then on the drive back that morning, we got stuck on the I think it was the M40. We got stuck in traffic because a VW Polo had tried to insert itself under a small pickup of some sort.
Oh, that's inconvenient. Yeah.
Fortunately, we were in Rob's Boxster, so at least we lost the roof. We weren't trapped in the filth.
Oh, you were able to air things out a bit.
But it didn't help with the needing the bomb situation.
No, indeed.
No.
Traffic jams and the morning after a incendiary curry, although that's not what you ordered. That's not a good combination.
No, it's very bad.
Oh, yeah. So what do you think it was? Do you think that they just put mild to them is not what you would consider mild, or
it didn't? But the thing is, when it went into the system, it was fine. Not even a hint of spice.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. There was certainly a catalyst in there.
Well, yes, they'd added in the secret ingredient. Yes.
Yes. So you're moving house, and then I described we ended up at erupting.
Bells. We did. I don't quite know what happened there. Anyway, we are unfortunately where we're moving to. We are out of range of most takeaways. So that is a bugger. Yeah, it's one of the downsides of the property. It does mean a trip in a vehicle to retrieve said delicacies, but there it is. We'll
for instance, where you currently are, near a Chinese takeaway, we both rather like.
We are indeed. We are well catered for on that front. Yes.
So, for example, what are we talking round trip wise to go and get a bit of dinner?
Oh, to the new place. Oh, that's a good question. Actually, I don't actually know in exact miles. Let me just have a look.
Well, it's and time as well, because obviously you need to factor in keeping the din-dins warm.
You do, don't you? Yes, that's true. And of course, you have to get the vehicle right. But we'll come on to that. In terms of time, I would say you're probably round trip. You're probably a minimum of about half an hour. I reckon it's about 15 minutes both ways.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's
it's
okay.
Not bad. No, it's not bad.
A bit of dinner and getting back in 15 minutes. That's good.
We have in the past picked up fish and chips from the town here and gone out there, and it was still acceptably warm when we arrived. Oh, so fine. I think we'd be okay. It's not a bad drive. It's an A road. I mean, it's a Devon A road, which obviously is to most other people is a B road, but to us it's an A road.
Yeah, I know the road in question. It's absolutely fine.
It is absolutely fine. Yeah. So yeah, about 15 minutes back with it. You'd get away with that.
Yeah, it'd be all right. Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Because that's not bad. Because you think for us, it's about 10 minutes. Allowing for
I suppose, of course, you don't, because they don't deliver to you, do they? No, of course. Well, the Chinese doesn't deliver to you. No,
not that particular one.
No, of course. So you have to collect it. But like you say, it's not going to be any more than about 10 minutes, is it? So yeah, and that works for you. In fact, I've been at your house when Kaylee went out and got Chinese for us, and that was fine. Yeah,
still warm.
Yeah, still warm. So yeah, I think we'll make it work. There is a fish and chips locally. Just about 5 minutes up the road, but pretty much everything else is is back to the big town because we're going to be a bit more out in the country at the new place.
Ah, yes, country bumpkins. Yes,
yes, you might say that. Yes,
I will.
Yeah, I know you will, and I'm actually fairly okay with that.
Okay.
Yes,
Right. So just to be clear, what we've done is we've made it a good 10 minutes ish into the episode, and we've talked about you moving house, takeaway curries that cause havoc, and how long it takes to get your favorite Chinese and make sure you're back in time for it to be warm.
we have covered those topics. Yes, important issues of the day, I think.
They are important issues of the day.
Yes.
I mean, I remember a time we used to talk about cars.
Occasionally they come up, I've noticed. Yeah, and not often, but that's why we didn't put car specifically in the name of the podcast. It gives us that flexibility.
Yes, it's very important to have flexibility.
Yes, we can drift off at any moment.
We're very fluid. So was some of that curry,
especially after a good curry. Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Would you like a bit of sort of semi nostalgia?
I always love a bit of nostalgia. Yeah, let's
Okay,
let's
this
make,
is
make,
actually
make that live for me.
This is a bit of car, bit of TV.
Oh, lovely.
So I read today that today in 2002, production began on the revamp of Top Gear.
Wow, that is an important date.
Yeah, so that's quite a thing.
That would have been Clarkson, Hammond, and Jason Dorr. Yes, yes, of course. Very good. Citron Berlingo, I believe, in the first episode, if my memory serves me.
Could have been another one in it. This could be nonsense, but I think they had a Velsatis as well.
That rings a bell. Rings a bell. I remember Clarkson doing a trip to France in the Berlingo, to one of those big wine warehouses. So I'm pretty sure that was in the first episode. Yeah,
that does sound familiar, doesn't it? Let's ask the internet, shall we? Because that
crack on.
These things. I'm going to go to the list of episodes. Here they are. All right, so that's interesting. So production started August and it aired October towards the end. Okay. Interesting. Actually, what I think happened here is you're absolutely bang on. Berlingo in the first episode. I think what I read about the Velsatis, I think that's what they actually filmed first.
Okay. I do remember there being a Velsatis in the first series, but I didn't know if it was the first episode. Yes.
No, right. Okay, that's where we got muddled. From what I read, not in the first episode, but seemingly the first shot.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, good.
Interesting. Right. Yeah, I quite fancy going back and watching that first one again now. See how different it was.
Well, they put them all on iPlayer of late.
I've got them all anyway, but they are on iPlayer. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, it's only a recent thing they've done actually, because it was only sort of very recent series that were on there. But no, they've done the whole lot now.
Very good.
Yes, like a bit of that.
I love all that. Can I give you an on this day in history?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, go for it.
Because my Apple Photos popped up a thing earlier, like it does on my phone, saying, showing you pictures that you took on this day, in the past. The thing it does.
I do. I know. Yeah. It really ramped it up during fucking lockdown. Look, remember when you went outside?
Yeah, look at all the exciting things you used to do. Yeah. Yes, look at what an interesting life you used to lead. Not anymore.
Yeah, that pissed me off. That did. Yes. Sorry, I digress. Yes, you had a memory from your photo.
I did on this day in 2017. Dawn and I test drove the Tesla Model S for the first time.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's salt in the wounds too. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, good.
And there we were, all smiley, standing next to the P100D that we took out for a drive. Yes.
I blame Tim Cook. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all his fault. Absolutely. Yep. But there we go. Yeah, so we're on this day.
Very good, very good, very good. I like that.
Well, at least it was motoring related.
Yeah. That's good actually, because the majority of what we've been gibbering on about today is not.
Is not, but I've been doing a lot of driving over the last week or so. A lot of driving. And the standards certainly haven't improved out there, have they?
Oh God, no.
Oh no. No.
We're in a world of pain as well at the moment because the tourists are with us.
Yes, the area is festooned with them. Yes, with their little roof boxes and pimping along at 15 miles an hour and indicating in the wrong places and braking on all the corners and all of that. Yeah, oh, there's a car coming the other way. Better do an emergency stop. Yeah,
and
all of that.
I mean, you know where I work.
I do,
and you know where I live.
I do,
and you also know the market where Kaylee sells her wares.
I do.
What I had to do one lunchtime this week is go during my lunch hour, thinking it's an hour, it's fine, is drive from the office into town and then back to my house.
Okay.
That's not very far.
No, it's not.
No, that took longer than the hour though, didn't it?
Oh dear.
Christ's sake.
It's bad, isn't it? It's bad.
It's just everyone's just in the way.
They are in the way, and of course the route I've been travelling out to where we're going to be living is the main route.
Prime.
From Devon down into Cornwall.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no motorway that goes down that far. You're on the A road.
Oh
yeah. All in my way. Yes.
What a lovely day you had.
More than a day. Every day. Every day. It's just a sea of roof boxes and people indicating in the wrong places. And, do we need to turn down there? Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Should we stop there for lunch? And, no, but we better go up here. And, no, I won't. Actually, I'll keep going this way. That's a bit of a sharp corner. Better brake there. And, just... Yes. Yes.
Had enough of these people.
I'm trying to move house here.
Just pain in the arse.
We get it every year, though, don't we? I guess it's the price we pay for living in a lovely area, but yeah.
It's lovely sometimes.
Yeah, in the middle of winter. There's no one here.
Cold then, though, isn't it?
Yeah, true. I don't mind that so much, though.
No, it's the incessant raining that gets on your tits around here. Because we're next to the coast. We don't have anything that you would call wintry weather. We just have rain.
It's just rain. Yeah. When the rest of the country's got days off because it's snowed everywhere. No. Just raining.
Just rain. Yep.
Just raining. Yeah.
Awful.
Anyway, I had the classic this week. I had the absolute classic. In fact, funnily enough, it was an X-type estate.
Oh dear.
Yes, I know. In the green.
Oh, the Queen Green?
The Queen Green. Okay. It was a facelift in the Queen Green. And I was following it. It had a roof rack on with a ladder. That's not relevant to the story. I just thought I'd mention it.
Just painting a picture.
I was making my way through an area that had cars parked on the side of the road. Not a particularly wide area. I was following this X-type. Coming the other way was quite a sizable lorry.
A
truck for our foreign fans. Now, the X-type in front of me saw that said large vehicle was approaching from the opposite direction, and there was a little gap in the parked cars. So he just zipped in there.
Oh.
What am I going to do? I can't fit in there. I'm just sat behind you.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, it didn't. The larger vehicle saw what had happened there and came to a stop. Chap in the X-type still didn't move. I could see his hand gestures. He was waving the lorry on, saying, "No, sorry, I'll stop for you, mate. You come through." No, there's a row of cars behind you. that don't fit in that little space you've pulled into. Look in your mirror.
For goodness sake.
Oh, Jesus. It's bad. It's
no
really
hope.
bad.
No, there's no concept about looking anywhere but directly in front.
I don't know why car manufacturers still fit mirrors. Nobody uses them.
No. To be honest, the majority of the windows are redundant as well.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. Oh, no,
No, don't look sideways. There's nothing going on of interest there.
No, I feel your pain enormously. That's you can't work with that.
You can't. Eventually, he figured out what was going on and he moved, and the traffic flow could continue. But
brain dead.
Completely. I'm all right. Don't know what the rest of you are going to do.
Right. Do you recall a little while back? I told you about the old dear next door had a gardener come and visit her, and he was rocking the MG estate, the ZTT.
Yes. Sorry, yes, you did mention that. Yes, what was that wonderful thing? Yes,
it is a wonderful thing.
Yes, there's a car alarm going off.
I was just going to say there's a developed car alarm, and that raises a very valid point about car alarms. No one cares.
No, they don't. That's not one of ours.
No, you don't.
Yours doesn't work, and the Puma doesn't have one. So I know it's not one of ours. No.
Mine does work. It just doesn't make a sound.
Well, all right. Well, it doesn't do that. No.
No, it's fine. It's no. After having to deal with that in my pants, and I'm sure we've told that story before.
We've told lots of stories that involve your pants. So I don't think we really need to revisit them.
No.
It's off again.
Can they just hurry up and steal it, please?
They're obviously not very good.
Anyway, gardeners. The old dear next door has. She didn't end up I think she went with the guy with the MG once and decided no. So she's opted for a new gardener.
Oh.
Which, all right, it's her choice.
Well, I suppose, but
I mean, he turned up in a vehicle with all his gubbins in the back. I can't quite believe this was the vehicle, but
oh no!
So, a domestic gardener with all his gubbins, including lawnmower, strimmer, hand tools,
all the stuff you'd need. Yeah,
all the stuff you'd need in a 2010 Chevrolet Spark.
Ooh. That's quite a choice. Yeah. Blimey. How's that working?
It's a bloody TARDIS.
That is unbelievable. How do you even get a lawnmower in there?
Well,
that's almost a two-seater.
I witnessed the lawnmower getting in and out. The lawnmower, the main gubbins of it, that's not too much of an issue. That does fit widthways. So what he did was the handle had the big old thumb nuts on it, so he could fold the handle back over itself.
Oh yeah. I know. Yeah.
Strimmer looked like it was kind of lengthways and would be where your front passenger would be. They'd have their hair trimmed if they were in it.
Maybe that's a side service he can offer. Mobile hairdresser.
I couldn't believe it. So, really?
That's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could it have been? Oh no, not a 2010. It's too old. I'm saying, could that have been a courtesy car from a garage somewhere?
Right. No. Well, if it is a courtesy car from a garage, then that's unlucky for the garage. But he's been twice in that.
Okay, so probably not.
Probably not.
That's he's stretching that to the limit, isn't he? As a work van.
Yeah. I mean, I somehow commend it, but it is odd.
It's not as interesting as the MG.
It's not, It's no. I'm not saying it's interesting. It's just to make that a commercial vehicle well done.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a bold choice because that's a tiny little city car. That's not meant for lugging equipment around.
No, no, it's not. Let's be honest. And
It's not. No, it's just not.
Well, they're just a bit. Well, it's just a bit rubbish, really, aren't they?
It's just crap, isn't it? Really? Yeah.
But it's one of those cars. They're the sort of a car that is built to a price.
It's built to a price. It's built to serve a purpose, and that's a perfectly acceptable purpose. I don't have a problem. I accept there is a huge market for a car like that, and that's fine. That's fine.
They were. I'm assuming they were called everything under the sun, weren't they? They were Chevrolet, Matiz, Spark, Daewoo Matiz, depending on where you were. I think as well. No, I don't know why I remember this bullshit, but I think in Poland it was an FSO Matiz.
Oh, okay. That's a name from the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, let's put that in the memory bank of nonsense.
Absolutely. Oh, the good old Polonaise. Yes. He'd be better off with one of those. That was a proper big hatchback.
Oh yeah, you would. I mean, it wouldn't go, but you could get more stuff in it.
You could, yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. It would be all right until you actually tried to get to your customer. Yeah, that's a bold choice.
It is right. I know we said we were going to do shorter episodes, and I feel like what I'm about to say might spiral, but it could be our sort of end.
Oh, you crack on. You crack on.
This will be our last episode. This is comment from a listener. And I feel he must get name checked because Chris has been absolutely hammering through our episodes and enjoying them.
Oh, it's him. You told me about him, the Model Y.
That's him. Yep.
Yes. Good evening, sir. You are showing excellent choice both in taste of car and podcast. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we've already had the car debate.
Yes, I know, but you know,
a little
he might not have gone back far enough yet to discover that I had a Model S. So.
Oh, true. I don't know if. Yeah, you might not. I can't remember how far he's got back. So yeah, that'll be.
He may not have got there. Well, that's 2 years back now. He may not have got there yet.
God, you meant to do spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry.
A little while back, we had a topic about the sales of EVs going down. We
did, yes, that's true. There were some figures, I believe, from Auto Trader that were suggesting that. Yeah.
And we suggested various things, but Chris posed one and said, well, could it be something almost along the lines of market saturation for the people who want to jump on the EV stuff have already done it? And the issue now is convincing people that they probably should.
That's a very valid point, actually, that the people that it was a kind of easier sell to, who were kind of, looking for something new, interested in technology, fancy to change, were at the point where they wanted to change their cars and were receptive to the idea of something different. Yeah, that's a valid point. I think what's starting to happen now as well is that EVs are being looked at by fleet buyers. Because diesel PCPs and things and lease deals that that fleets buy the cars on are coming to an end, and they're looking at lower taxes and lower running costs and things. So naturally, they're going to be looking at these. But residual value proving to be particularly resilient at the moment, and there's still a huge amount of misinformation and negative press out there about EVs in general. That's going to put people off. But I think it's a valid point, that people who were easier to sell EVs to, for all the reasons, have probably already got one.
Yeah, I mean, you raise an interesting point about that kind of coincides with it as well, because you say, "Oh, there's misinformation," which there
Yeah,
is. There's loads of toss out
there
there.
is. You can't argue with that. There is. Yes.
And people who've already gone and bought the EVs have managed to actually go and do some research and go, "Yep, that's a bit of me." Whereas people who are possibly really not fussed about cars
Yeah,
and just see it as a commodity
it's a
appliance,
tool.
whatever you want
Yeah,
to call it,
yeah.
aren't putting in the legwork. They're seeing all this clickbait nonsense going, "Oh yeah, the batteries will run out in 5 years," and all this sort of nonsense. And
All
you go,
that
"Oh,
kind of
I'm not, no,
rubbish that
I'm not,
gets.
not, I'm
Yeah,
not buying this. I'm not buying one of those. That's mad."
yeah. I think that's a huge part of it because we forget in the automotive enthusiastic bubble, of which we and most of our friends are in, that the vast majority of people just don't care.
Yeah,
They won't do their own research. They won't try and look at it logically or look at it from a, well, this is something new, let's give it a chance sort of way. They're just, as you say, they're going to read the rubbish, of which there is a huge amount.
oh yeah,
And they're going to say, yeah, that's rubbish. I don't want that. They're catching fire all the time and the residuals are terrible and you've got to replace a battery every 5 years and it doesn't do the range they say it will. And yeah, it's not as green as they say it is because the manufacturing process and all the 3-year-old children chiseling out all the lithium to make the batteries, which is also utter nonsense, and all of
no,
that.
there are at least two. Come on,
Yeah, there are at least two, and they won't go as far and they take forever to charge and all that nonsense.
but
Is out
no
there, and
one.
they won't look past it. They'll just read it and think, no, I don't want that. I'll have another diesel.
No, and you go, well, you say about diesel, these same people never got up in arms when the VW news broke. No one really gave a toss.
Very few people gave a toss.
No,
Yeah, that's true. And that was surprising because that was really bad.
it was a bit naughty.
That was really bad.
But like you say about, the cars won't do this sort of range. You go, what? And the car, your internal combustion car, the quoted MPG figure, you're doing that constantly, I assume.
But people don't look at that, do they?
No.
How many people know the range of their petrol or diesel car?
Yeah.
It just doesn't even factor in when they're purchasing it. It's not yet with an EV. It's the top thing. Oh, I wouldn't buy an EV unless it could do 500 miles. And how often do you do 500 miles in one hit without even stopping for 15 minutes? If you are doing that, I would suggest it's not safe.
Don't go on a long journey with me. Not stopping.
Yeah, but you're happy to wee out the window whilst you're doing 60 down the motorway. That's different.
Yeah, I will drop the speed to 60 to have a piss.
Yes.
No, I'm not
Exactly.
I'm not quite that bad. I mean,
And pull into the outside lane so you don't spray any of your fellow travellers.
No, that's right. No, I am terrible for that. Not pissing in the car. I don't do that. He jests. But I have done the door to door from one side of the country to the other without stopping.
So have I, but not for a long time, admittedly. I did do that when I was a younger. How would Billy Joel have put it? When I wore a younger man's clothes. I have done that. Yeah. I mean, I've done, 4 hours or whatever in one hit before without stopping. But I still wouldn't recommend that to anybody.
No, you're right, and it's nonsense with the EV stuff. It's absolute nonsense. The people need to just engage their brain. I mean, I'm not saying fully, just slightly. I'll take at the moment.
Yeah, there is. It feels like the rubbish has kind of stepped up a notch over the last 6 months. And it's sad because you see there's YouTube channels, which I won't mention, but there are some who are picking that up and really running with it.
Oh, yeah,
and they're getting huge viewership. And it is largely nonsense. EVs catching fire and burning people's houses down. Really, how often has that happened? I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but how often has that happened?
No.
How often do all cars catch fire? Quite a lot, if you look into it.
It's very, very silly, and I am I'm happy to be drawn into the environmental debate on the manufacturing process versus
Yes.
buying an old car.
They are not. There is no. I will say there is no such thing as a green car.
No.
There just isn't. It's not possible. Yes, there is a huge amount of energy expelled in making the things, but that's only one part of the subject.
Yeah.
Once it's made,
that's a different story then.
It's a different story, isn't it? Yeah. So but there's a lot of crap out there.
That is it, and I tell you what, that to round us off and sort of bring us back to Chris's original point of going the demand possibly being less because people are already on the bandwagon.
That's a valid point.
I think it could well be a big factor of that, as well as a lack of education on potential new buyers.
Yes, and I think some of that comes down to the traditional car dealers, most of which who aren't interested in selling EVs. Some are, and some are very good at it. I would suggest the majority are not.
Yep,
because they're going to lose huge revenue in servicing, which is where they make their money.
That's the
they'll make when they sell a brand new car. Most car dealers will make their money on two things: selling you a finance deal and selling you a servicing package. They make almost no money on selling the car itself. Typically less than 1%. It's nothing.
It's a drop in the ocean, really, isn't it?
They make their money on they get a kickback on the finance that you sign up to, and they get future revenue from the parts and servicing.
Yeah.
And EVs don't. I mean, people still sign up to finance on EVs. That's fine, but they don't sign up to servicing packages because you kind of don't need servicing. So
no, you need brakes and tires. That's kind of it.
That's kind of it. Yeah, exactly. So, I understand their reluctance from a business point of view, but I think car dealers have their share of the blame there. But I think it will become a harder sell from this point on because you're talking to people who aren't interested, don't care, and as well can't afford it. And that's an issue as well. That's a genuine issue as well.
Well, we've touched on that with more sort of what we would deem down-to-earth brands charging too much for their cars.
Yes, absolutely. There's a huge number of people who will never pay more than £500 for a car, ever. Well,
Phil,
what
sorry, just clear my throat.
Well, wasn't thinking of our learned friend specifically. However, you raise a valid point.
But I
was thinking of people who actually can't spend more than £500. I think our friend could if he chose to. He just doesn't choose to.
But I don't disagree with his model of car purchasing.
It's fine. A lot of people do it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's true.
How are people like that going to get themselves into an EV? By waiting a long time.
Yeah, I think. I mean, a Pushy might be able to get into a G-Wiz.
Yeah, get into a G-Wiz. Won't be too long actually. He'll be able to get into a first-gen Nissan Leaf. But the other big area of misunderstanding, which I think we should just touch on if we're discussing this, is the 2030 ban on. This is what the misunderstanding is about. People are saying it's a 2030 ban on internal combustion vehicles. It is not.
No.
And I've had people say this to me. They said, "Oh, what about 2030? No one's going to, I can't afford a new car, and I don't know anyone who can afford a brand new car, and we're not going to be able to have cars at all." And that's what the government wants, and that's the conspiracy. That they don't want us to have cars at all. They don't want us moving around, so they're going to ban it all after 2030. No, they're not. They're banning the sale of new petrol and diesel after 2030. You can still buy an old one.
Yeah.
And car dealers are going to be falling over them. Pre-register petrol and diesel cars before 31st of December 2030, and you're going to be able to buy them effectively new for quite a long time. And you'll be able to run your ICE car for years and years and years.
Yes, it's all very silly.
It's almost a willful misunderstanding in order to have something to say that's negative about it. I think there's an element of that going on as well.
Yeah, it is. It's It's the clickbait culture, and it's just getting a reaction out of a mildly incendiary headline that is not based on facts.
Yeah, absolutely. That there's a lot of rubbish out there, and us and many others feel that there's room for both. You don't have to. You don't have to hate EVs in order to like internal combustion, and vice versa. Why can't you like both?
No, it's possible to have a fleet of vehicles with both in.
They're different. They each have their own positives and negatives. They each have their own charm.
Yeah. The whole reason we sparked this conversation off was because of Chris's comment, and he is exactly that. He has his EV, and then he has his fun cars as well.
Perfect.
So there you go.
Not saying that EVs can't be fun.
No, but different. Let's go with different.
They are different, and I think it's a valid point that selling them from this point on is probably going to be more difficult, because the people that were open to the idea of it have probably already got one or tried one or happy with it or whatever, leased one, whatever it may be. And yeah, it's going to be maybe a more difficult battle from here on in, but they're not going away. They are well established now.
I think this has got all the hallmarks of a revisit to this particular topic.
I think so. There's a lot to be said.
Yes,
there's a lot to be said. Yeah.
Let's watch this space.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.